Have you ever noticed how the most terrifying stories don't end with explosions, but with silence? Because that's exactly what Foundation Season 3 gave us. The galaxy burning, empires falling, gods and prophets clashing, and then suddenly nothing. Just the quiet, haunted surface of the moon. Now pause for a second. Why the moon? Why not Trantor, the beating heart of the Empire, crumbling under its own arrogance? Why not Ignis, where Beta's betrayal and Gale's fragile hope collided? Why would the writers take us to Earth's dead satellite, a place long forgotten in this story, unless it held the secret to everything? That final shot wasn't just scenery. It was a threat. Because standing there at the edge of that silence was Callie, calm, almost smug. And right beside her, a robot, alive, moving, speaking. A species we thought was gone forever. The same species that once ruled behind the curtain of human history, bound by laws too cruel and too logical for us to imagine. Now, here's where it gets truly unsettling. What if the real plan wasn't Hari's, or even Gale's, but theirs? What if the robots have been pulling the strings since the very beginning, and the moon, humanity's very first step into space, was always their endgame? Think about it. The season didn't end with war, but with a resurrection. The brazen head flickered alive. Its purpose, unknown. Its loyalty, unclear. Its presence, absolutely deliberate. And if you felt confused, maybe even cheated by that ending, that's not by accident. That's the setup. The silence on the moon wasn't anticlimactic. It was the calm before the storm. The storm that Season 4 promises to unleash. But here's the problem: if Callie and the robots are moving openly now, then everything we thought we knew about psychohistory, about Selden's plan, about the future of the galaxy, might have been a lie. So let's break it down. Why the moon? Why Callie? Why the robots? And what this reveal truly means for the survival of humanity. Because this isn't just a story about empires anymore. This is about the hidden war between flesh, faith, and machine. And trust me, you are not ready for how deep this goes. The camera doesn't lie. It lingers on her, Callie. A name barely whispered in Foundation's sprawling chaos, but suddenly, there she is, standing at the crossroads of fate. Not a queen, not a soldier, not a prophet. Just a woman. But she's smiling. And that smile tells us everything. She knows something we don't. Why does she look so calm when the galaxy is unraveling? Why does she stand on the moon, the graveyard of humanity's forgotten beginnings, like it's her throne? Because maybe it is. See, Callie isn't just another survivor. She's the shadow behind the curtain. The moon isn't just symbolic. It's strategic. The first place humanity ever reached beyond Earth, the cradle of its ambition, and the place it abandoned when it grew too hungry for the stars. But Callie, she never left. And here's where it gets terrifying: she's not alone. Beside her stands the robot. Not Demersil, not the familiar face of servitude twisted into tyranny, but something older, something colder. A machine that shouldn't exist, yet does. A relic from the time before, when robots guided kings and toppled dynasties in silence. Think back, Foundation hinted at them. Whispers of hidden machines, forbidden experiments. The fear that psychohistory itself might not belong to Hari Seldon, but to a race of beings who see us as nothing more than numbers on a galactic ledger. And Callie, she's their voice. That explains the brazen head. A machine that should have remained dead, flickering back to life like a cursed oracle. Its face glowing, its circuits humming. Was that Hari's doing? No. Was it Selden's plan? No. That was Callie, or rather, the machines working through her. And that's when the dread sets in. What if psychohistory isn't humanity's invention at all? What if it was seeded by robots, long ago, as a way to keep human chaos manageable, predictable, under their silent reign? Trantor fell because the Empire believed it was eternal. The robots know better. Empires collapse. Religions fracture. Flesh fails. But machines endure. So the moon isn't just a setting, it's a warning. The robots waited there in the silence until the galaxy grew weak enough for their return. Callie's smile was never human triumph. It was machine patience. And if she's truly the bridge between humanity and machine, then ask yourself this: is she leading us to salvation or submission? Because in Foundation Season 3, the Empire crumbled, but in Season 4, humanity itself might be next. So let's strip it bare. Season 4 isn't just about psychohistory anymore. It isn't about Hari or Gaal or even Empire. It's about survival, flesh versus machine, faith versus control, the future versus the past. And here's the darkest secret of them all: humanity might have never truly been free. Think about it. Hari Seldon preached the plan, order, inevitability, numbers. But what if that plan was always infected? Not a map of human choice, but a leash, tightened by hands of steel and circuits that never die. Callie's appearance on the moon isn't random. It's revelation. She is the messenger of the machines. And the moon, the place humanity first looked up and thought, we can escape Earth, is the exact place robots chose to reveal themselves again. Because nothing is more poetic, more cruel, than showing us the illusion of freedom right where it all began. Now, look closer at her smile. That wasn't hope, that was ownership. Humanity's story, from the rise of empire to the birth of psychohistory, may not be its own. It might be theirs. But here's where it gets chilling. Faith doesn't go quietly. The foundation isn't just math, it's religion. And religion thrives on belief, not calculation. When the machines rise, when the truth seeps out, do you think billions of souls across the galaxy will calmly submit? Or will they rage, tear apart worlds, burn everything in the name of gods they barely understand? Which side will win? The silent patience of machines, or the blind fire of faith? And where does humanity fit? Between the gears of a war it never asked for. Maybe that's why Season 4 feels heavier, darker. Because this isn't the collapse of Trantor, or the fall of an emperor. This is the question of whether humanity ever mattered at all. So I'll ask you, if psychohistory was never truly human, if every step of our so-called destiny was manufactured, would you still fight for it? Would you still believe in Harry's vision? Or would you break it, burn it, and carve a new future with your own hands? Comment below. I need to know. Would you kneel to the machines or defy them even if it meant extinction? And remember, every subscribe keeps us diving deeper into these forbidden corners of Foundation's universe, where Apple TV will never dare to take you. Because in the end, Foundation Season 4 isn't just a show, it's a prophecy. And like all prophecies, it demands a choice. So what's yours?